Hey, gear fans. Little rant tonight. Little inventory, little studio rundown of where I'm at, why I'm here. This one is not a tutorial by any means, not really any gear review, not really any tutorial. Rather, I'm taking inventory of what I've got in my studio at the moment, why I've got it, where I'm at with it, and my constant back and forth between in the box, out of the box. And you might say, well, we don't specifically care about you or your studio. We don't specifically care about your stuff. Why would we watch this? You might not. That's why I'm pre-disclaiming. But myself, I like to go to Rhett Shull's videos, and I'm drawing a blank on the other YouTubers right now that do this kind of thing. And I like to see what cables Rhett Shull uses, and what preamps he has. And so for me, I love studio tour stuff. I love to know the nitty gritty of why someone's using that kind of guitar pick. You know what I mean? Like, so, but this kind of video isn't for everybody. It's not. So there will be no review here. There will be no tutorial. This is really just me ranting about how I've arrived here December 8th already, 2024. How I've arrived here. So, my goodness. So I've been recording since 1995-ish, back on the boombox. And then I graduated to 4-track, and then I went through all the, I was on Cool Edit Pro, if you guys remember that one. Cool Edit Pro turned into Adobe Audition, for the worst, I think. Like Adobe does, they ruined that product. Cool Edit Pro was really cool, and you could edit professionally. But yeah, Adobe came and bought it and killed it. Just stuck a knife right in its lungs. And from Cool Edit Pro, I went into all the trackers. I went into the, the Boss BRs, 1600s, and then in the Roland VS2000, 2480. And then I went back into the box, grabbed up Reaper. I've been a Reaper guy since 2005 or 2006, which is super early Reaper. Super early Reaper. I think it's at frickin' 7 now or some damn thing. Where are we at here? 7, yeah. And my opinion, Reaper's getting more complicated. The charm of Reaper, of why it was so charming, is starting to get lost a little bit. But anything, we'll get into that rant. So I guess this is a bit of a rant about Reaper as we go to. So I was in Reaper. I had a, what did I have? The M Audio inputs. M Audio used to make some interfaces. I had a Mark of the Unicorn. I've had various Universal Audio stuff. And I've been back and forth with the DAW. I had the, what do they call the DP24, the DP32, which is made by Tascam. And I've had the Tascam Model 24. I've had 8 of them. I've had the Zoom R20, I've had the Live Track L20, I've had 7 of them. So this box here, right here, is a Tascam Model 24. It has to go back to Amazon because I got an open box and it doesn't work. There's a channel busted on it. I got the Live Track L20. So there's the 2 right there. I know my most popular videos, which, my videos aren't popular, but my most popular videos are comparing these two, the Tascam Model 24 with the Live Track L20. And there they are side by side. So, what was I going to say about that? Yeah, I mean, you can't tell that there's a Tascam in there, but yeah, I have owned both of them side by side in various times. So, yeah, I run a small, project studio. I'm as busy as I want to be. If I want to go do church stuff, I can do church stuff. If I want to record a heavy, like the loudest band in town, I can. If I want to record friends, I can. If I want to pack up and drive 3 hours, I can. Like, there's opportunity out there. I don't make money with any of it. I don't even charge, like, anything. In fact, I've DJ'd, I don't even know how many weddings. I can't recall ever being paid because it was all just friends and family stuff. So I don't get paid for this stuff. I'm trying to get subscribers on YouTube, which is going slow but steady. So anyway, now we're way off topic, but so I recently bought that Tascam Model 24, and I was like, no, I need to be in the DAW. I have these dreams of not looking at a screen, not looking at a keyboard, not looking at a mouse. That's where I always want to be. And my brain goes back and forth and back and forth. And I end up buying one of them Zooms and I end up buying one of them Tascams. And it sits here. And my brain goes, for the Tascam, you got $1,700 sitting right here. And for the Zoom, my brain, and this isn't Canadian money, my brain goes, you got $1,350 sitting right here. Because that's what a Zoom L20 costs Canadian with tax. $1,350 just sitting here. Why can't you be happy in Reaper like everybody else, apparently? So I obsess over this stuff so much that I want to know how the hot dogs are made at my favorite artists' workspaces. So I'll hunt down, how does Ween record? How does Guided by Voices record? How do the Pixies record now? How does Apples in Stereo record? How does Mark Kramer at Bongwater Shimmy Disc fame, the legendary Mark Kramer, how does he record? How does Steve Albini record? And I hunt it down as much as I can. And you know what? It looks to me, and a lot of these guys won't let you know how they make the hot dogs. Recently, Dean Ween, you can see pictures of his studio. Guided by Voices, they hop from studio to studio. Plus, they've had that Travis Harrison fella in New York. I think that's his name. He's been doing their stuff, but let's be honest. They're all recording with a computer. Even Mark Kramer of Bongwater Shimmy Disc fame. I've read interviews where he grabs not a Universal Audio. What does he grab? Something quite higher in quality. I cannot remember. It's basically a USB device or Thunderbolt device or Firewire device. Whenever he did the interview, he grabs a 2-channel. Oh, Apogee. That's what he claimed to have, an Apogee. He grabs the best mics his ears can get his hands on, and he grabs an Apogee interface, either the 2-channel or I think he'd even reference the 8, which is called the Ensemble, I think. And then he can go anywhere around the world. He says he can and has recorded in a tent, like wherever he needs to go. And of course, nobody's putting sound down on any media like Mark Kramer. Okay, nobody. You listen to anything he records, and it's just full in your face. I would be happy if I could ever record one song that sounded as lush and full and beautiful as one thing he has ever done. And that's why I do what I do. And in, 25 years of me doing it, I'm not even getting close, okay? But those cats started on reel-to-reel machines. 4-track, 8-track, 16-track, 24-track. And Mark Kramer said that it took him a long time to get to a spot where he could record digitally that he was happy with, that sounded as good as his tape stuff. And then in another interview, I find out that he uses this Apogee stuff. Anyway, so I always want to know how the hot dogs are made. How did you record this? I think this was a Todd Tobias. This is a Guided by Voices album, Universal Truth and Cycles. I think Todd Tobias, and I kind of know the periods in which, where they were recording and who was recording them. I'm sure if I don't know how quick this is going to tell me. Management design, all songs mastered by Jeff Graham at Diamond Mine, recorded by Cro-Magnum. Okay, engineered by Todd. Okay, so Cro-Magnum, that is a recording studio in Dayton. And then Todd engineered it. Okay, I've talked to Todd on via email a few times. He's very nice. He's very accessible. He's very approachable. He's a very nice guy. He gave me a wealth of information anyway. They recorded Cro-Magnon. So what does that mean, though? Did they record this on hard drive? Did they record this on computer? Well, the reality is when I find out how the hot dogs are made for most of these guys, they're in the computer. So I should be happy. Glenn Fricker, who doesn't live too far from me, he's a creditable producer engineer for sure. He's got some major band label stuff in his resume. He's using Reaper. He just is, right? And his stuff could end up in your ears on FM radio or on Spotify or on a mainstream movie, so Reaper, my point is Reaper's good enough for lots of folks. Why isn't it good enough for me? Well, I get work in here. I opened a session the other day, which was a session from 2018, and I think I started to go down that rabbit hole. Since 2018, I've been down here in this space, really trying to get back into music, really trying to finish an album that I started in 2018, really starting to get my sonics, which is a fancy douchebag way of saying how things sound when I record it, try to get my stuff squared away. So 2018 to now, 2024, what is that? Is that 7 years or something? 7 years I've been obsessing. 7 years I've been changing my studio. 7 years I've been changing my desk, changing into the box, out of the box, into the box, out of the box. And by out of the box, I mean by into one of them trackers, you know, either the Tascam Model 24 or the Zoom L20. In the box, out of the box, in the box. Well, what happens to me is I get them trackers home, I place them here, and I'm like, frick, there's $1,350 sitting here, or there's $1,700 sitting here. This is where the mixing board goes. It's sitting here. Drives me nuts. I got all that equity. And then I sell it and I buy something else. Like I buy a nice amp, or I buy a nice preamp, or a nice microphone, or a freaking, you know, another guitar or whatever. And I'm like, I'm back in the box. So then I get my session going in Reaper. And this just happened to me 2 weeks ago. I opened a session from, 2018. And it was all scrambled up, just automation and crap. And I did get it to play. It took me an hour, a keyboard and mouse. I thought I was photoshopping sound. I did get the damn thing to go, but it sucked. Like suddenly I'm now back at work using a computer to get this one song back. And the automation was all wonky. Steve Albini would be the first one to tell you. Rest in peace, Steve Albini. Unfortunately, he's very sad. He died this year, but he said, you know, all the formats, them zip disks and them SD cards and them, you know, Pro Tools this and Pro Tools that. He goes, tape is the only thing that you can go back to frickin' 1950 and put it in and it just plays. Tape is the only thing. All these other formats, Steve Albini said, you can fly by 30 formats and not play them. They've gone obsolete. Sorry about that. Yeah, no one has a zip disk player anymore. Sorry about that. And I'm finding that just with Reaper across versions, just from version 2 or whatever I'd first bought to version 7. And Reaper's getting worse every year with the crap. I want no mouse, no keyboard, no screen, none of this stuff. Mike over at I Love Recording, he just has a Tascam Model 24, and he has a DP machine, and he has some other, an older DAW, or tracker, multi-tracker that he likes to use. He just does it all in the box. He ain't playing frickin' quantum node clicker like I am to frickin' try to restore these tracks. He just, you know, and you press play on that stuff and it just plays. It is what it is. This Reaper is getting worse every year. You turn this thing on by default and it has this set all tracks, or no, where is it? Very annoying. Show all takes when in room. It sucks so bad. As you record over top, it splits the graphic into multiple takes. And then all this nonsense up here, the frickin' magnet and the frickin' grid. You know, at one point when I had more time in my life, I had all this stuff dialed out, all the nonsense. The other thing too is when you first install Reaper and record, as soon as you hit record and stop, this frickin' thing comes up and goes, hey, you want to save it? Oh, you want to save it? It's like, yeah, idiot. Of course I want to save it. Why wouldn't I want to save what I just recorded? You know, I don't even know if I could get it to repeat that right now. Let's just go track, insert new track, record. We're recording nothing. And then I stop it. No, it's not going to do it now because they told it not to ever do that again. But yeah, right out of the box, it comes up with this box. It's like, you want to save that? It's like, what are you talking about? Why would I not want to save that? Just save it. Just save it. And that's where the beauty of tape is, or the beauty of like these multi-trackers. Yeah, in my opinion, Reaper is getting worse. It took me, when Reaper first came out and I started plugging away, I had come from Pro Tools, which I really hated. But it took me uninstalling and reinstalling Reaper about 5 times and spending a solid 2 hours with it before I was like, okay, you know what I like about this? It's the most basic. What you see is what you get. Just do it. Bare bones. Make it customizable in terms of minimalism. Okay? Yeah, I want custom. I want special. You know what I want custom special? Minimalist style. I want custom and special in a way that strips away all the crap. I don't want custom and special in that I can reflect crystals to the moon and it comes down and hits the tides of South Africa and then there's macros and F5. I don't want that. That's what I want to customize and make special. Strip it out. Strip it out. If there was a way to turn this screen off and like, how do I do that? How do I use Reaper? How do I record into the computer just like this? None of that. How do I step back? I guess maybe that's an iPad. I've never done that. I've never recorded on an iPad. Maybe it's a brain implant that I can, but no, I'm stuck in the computer and I'm drawing automation nodes on tracks. How far away from this have I gone? Right? I mean, the artists, they're the artists. They're not worried about that stuff. I am both, in some cases, the artist and the producer and the engineer. It's just mind-blowing. What do you mean I'm drawing automation? I get some people need that level of retardium, but can I not just hit a button that says take everything that's retarded out of here? Detard the process. Like, that's what there needs to be, a button. And I did fix that session the other day, but it was hell, and it took me 2 hours to get my song back. So anyway, that's what happens to me. I sat down to mix a song, and it was all that, and it was hell. And then I buy these things, right? So I bought the Live Track L20. I got it set up, and I'm going, here we go. For the rest of my life, I'm going to be happy with a Live Track L20. I snaked it up with this snake here, and or no, not in that case. Sorry, I snaked it up with that snake back there. Boop. And I had the mics going to the drums, and I recorded a couple of minutes of drums without my fake Neve preamps, just straight up live L20 preamps, and it sounded harsh, sterile, digital, neutered. Like the classic, what we all say about digital recording, sterile, no soul, no mojo. And that's how it sounded. Now, I really should pipe these warm Neves through. I got 4 channels here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 channels of warm Neve. I used to have a lot more, but I realized, these multi-channels are just for drums. It just didn't cut it. So I boxed the damn thing up. Plus, the Zoom Live Track L20 has that latch and catch on the faders, which is, again, so stupid. Let me turn it off. Just give me a what I do is what I get. That's all I'm asking for from anybody. From Reaper, from the Tascam Model 24, for the Zoom Live L20. Just give me a what I do is what I get. No one can seem to do that for me. Give me 16 mono channels across a board, simple record button, and no other features, please. No, none. I am a programmer. I am an IT guy. I can get advanced with things. I don't want that in my music. I don't want it. Reaper, all this crap, give me a minimal version. I don't want all this stuff. It gets in the way and it's scrambled. You can say, well, it's not that hard. Just don't, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, we'll try to open a song from version 2 into version 7 and see how scrambled things are. But anyway, so now I'm back in the computer because the Zoom L20 is getting sold and the Tascam Model 24 is going back to Amazon because it doesn't work. I bought an open box and it's the channel 21 and 22, is only mono. The stereo's fried. But anyway, I'm back in the box. So what do we got here? This is my tracking kit. It's got my headphone amp. And you see it's separate. Like I could pick it up and move it, whereas this guy's more furniture. My tracking kit's got my headphone amp. It's got the 4 Neves. It's got my Focusrite 18i Gen 4th. At least that's a device I can feel confident in. No one can say anything bad about that. No one can, the price tag on this Focusrite gives you a level of confidence, okay? A level of, I know I've done a good job buying this Focusrite. I know it sounds great. Its credentials, its pedigree is too solid, okay? Whereas you get into the Zoom Live Track L20 and you're like, are the preamps any good though? Are they? It's Zoom. Come on. It's Zoom. Everyone knows Zoom makes really cheap stuff, you know? It's one of the first things you guys jump on the comments and say anytime I do a Zoom video. Guys are like, Zoom's kid stuff, you know? It's like, yeah, I guess you're not going to see Mark Kramer use a Zoom. I guess you're probably not going to see Steely Dan with Zoom equipment on stage. I could correct me if I'm wrong, you know? But, okay, so this is my tracking kit, grab and go. She's got a little heavier than I care for. It is an 8U mobile, but it's not the end of the world. I don't know what it would weigh, maybe 25 pounds. It's not too bad. I try to keep the cables coming out of the back just down to just one power cord, so I can unplug just that one power cord, pick this thing up, and move it to wherever I need to track or wherever I need the headphone amp to be convenient, right? Because you can feed your the back of this with whatever signal you want, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 headphone amps. So yeah, that's kind of a cool ART headphone amp 6. So then what do I got in the old furniture kit here? So the Warm WA2A, it should be in that rack too, because I use it for tracking. I don't really use it for outboard gear. If I'm in the computer, I'm going to use a WA2A plugin. But the rack was getting a little heavy, and I just use the WA2A on bass and vocals. It's my favorite vocal compressor, and I love it on bass. And it's such a simple compressor that even I can use it. I've never been good at setting a compressor. I mean, I just fiddle till it sounds okay, but this is really brainless. It's literally just these two knobs. The other knobs are stupid. Again, we're overdoing it here. Give me this knob and give me this knob, and maybe that, and no more, please. No more. Take them away. I got this lexicon in the rack right now in case I want additional reverbs or delays or flangers or choruses or rotaries. So just, you know, some outboard effects. Do I need it? No. That you can get these things all day long for $300-400. Sometimes you get them for $200. This is my Behringer rack tuner, which I've placed under suspicion. Sometimes I wonder if it doesn't tune as good as I think it does. And then I got the 500 series down here. There's my broken Heritage Audio. I'll never buy a piece of gear from Heritage Audio again, so long as I live. We're going to be getting into some more videos as to why they suck and why you shouldn't buy from them. And then I've just got this radio. I used to have this thing full. The whole thing about 500 series gear is it's a space saver. No one can deny that. You could put 10 pieces of gear here. It is not a money saver. It is not a money saver. It is not cheaper. That's a lie, okay? You could say, oh, well, because you don't have to buy a power supply for each one. I don't care what you say. You can buy any gear in rack format cheaper than these individual things. The 500 series idea of it being cheaper is a lie, and I can spreadsheet that all day long and explain that. So right now, the 500 series stuff, I could take it or leave it. I don't even use this reamper, okay? And then Heritage Audio, this thing coughed out on me, and I've yet to find somebody who can fix it for me, and have not taken the time myself to rip it. I ripped it apart, but I haven't ripped it all apart to replace every component. Like, I have to buy like 100 different capacitors and everything to like start swapping stuff out, because I really don't know where the problem is. But screw you, Heritage Audio. But anyway, that's the furniture rack. And then up here we've got, these are spec analyzers or frequency analyzers. They show you a graphical representation of the frequency that's going through them. And that's it. I mean, we're back in the box. So now when I want to record a song, I got to get on the old computer with the keyboard, mouse, and frickin' Reaper, which grows more overcomplicated with every damn update. And can I not just get Reaper somehow in an EMI style desk? Like, you know, the Beatles EMI, the red desks, where I don't know. I don't know. If I win the lottery, I'll design an open source console for all of us. Okay? And it'll be 16 channels in, and you'll hit record and it will record, and it just won't have any nonsense. There'll be no split tracks. That doesn't exist right now, okay? If it does, let me know. Tascam, it's all split tracks, and it's got its own barrel of issues. And the Tascam Model 2400 that just came out this year would fit the bill for me, but it's like 3,500 Canadian if you bring the taxes into it. So it's expensive as hell. But I mean, what would a nice recording setup cost me in the 90s? 50,000? What would it cost me in the 80s? $250,000? $500,000? You know what I mean? So maybe that 3,500. Maybe I need to stop whining and buy the Tascam Model 2400. Oh yeah, I got a couple. I've not really been using this Virtualizer 3D. It's got some nice quirky effects. It's got some nice reverbs, but I just haven't been using it, so it's for sale. And then that Ultralink Pro mixer never was the right mixer. I screwed up on buying that. It's a great, as they say, Swiss Army knife, but I bought the wrong connectors on the back. I needed TRS and not all these XLRs, so it is a great utility Swiss Army knife mixer. I'm simply not using it. So, and then as I mentioned, that's getting sold, and then the old Tascam Model 24 that I bought is going back. So yeah, I'm just in studio hell still. I'm back in the box, back in Reaper. No vote of motivation to sit in front of this thing and frickin' play computer. You know, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Gone are the days when I used to hunker over a 4-track cassette and you'd hit record and whatever you did is what you did. That's all I'm looking for. So, I mean, please, if Mackie or Tascam or Zoom or Foztech or Avid or Apogee or Mark of the Unicorn or Behringer or anybody is listening to me, please just make a simple machine, strip all the junk out of it, strip all the bad decisions out of it. You look at Mackie now, Mackie puts these boards out and you're like, that looks good, that looks good. They'll have a full board this big, right? You're like, that looks pretty good. What kind of an interface is it? And like 2. And you're like, oh, I must have misheard you there. You didn't just say 2, did you? Yeah. You're going to have 16 mics come in and you can record 2 of them. What did you just say? I must have misheard you just there. That you've made a 16 channel board and two in what? So yeah, Mackie is I'm not sure they're okay over there. Somebody may want to check the office for lead with one of them. Is there a lead checking device to see why those guys are operating at an IQ of about 75 these days? Anyway, yeah, the struggle is real, and this is where we've ended up. And yeah, thanks for watching. And what does every good YouTuber say at the end of their video? Peace!